You remember Ocean Master from the live action Aquaman movies? His costume looks really good in the movies, but yeah, he's in the comics too. Let's get into it. Similar to the movies, it's talked about how he is the half-brother of Aquaman himself. He did years of pirating. He called himself Ocean Master, which is debatably one of the best names for a sea character. If you're wondering throughout this video why he's so mighty, well, part of the reason is because you could argue power progression, because he apparently sold his soul to the demon Neuron for even greater power. When it comes to his gear, his trident possesses vast magical powers. According to the handbooks and lore, it's pretty much his destiny for him and Aquaman to kind of battle for the throne or just battle for power. He doesn't have the most comic appearances. It's talked about his special skills on how he's proven to be a master tactician and a genius. You could say, in his case, knowledge is power because he expanded his knowledge on Atlantean lore and sorcery. He's a skilled hand-to-hand combatant. He's one of those characters that has a decent amount of super strength. I mean, look who he's fighting, Aquaman. So he has to have some kind of super strength, right? But I wouldn't say that's something he specializes in. Being disrespectful, and at the very least, I would say in muscle, he should be able to lift similar weight to what Aquaman can lift when it comes to muscle, because we've seen Aquaman support the weight of thousands of tons, entire buildings and such. You could say Orm, Ocean Master with magical enhancement, things like that. You could argue he could lift hundreds of thousands of tons like Aquaman at least, because we see him battling him, matching his muscle. I mean, we've actually seen Ocean Master and Aquaman's muscles themselves clash. So he has to be somewhere in that ballpark. Saying he could probably lift over 100,000 tons makes a lot of sense. Via magical energy or magical sorcery, there's implications via his energy projection. He can lift up entire cities, like how he lifted up Atlantis, but at the same time, underwater, you can see him giving Superman some issues with his raw muscle. So yeah, he has to be decently pretty freaking strong, being that Superman is the same guy that can quite literally move planets. Durability-wise, we've seen him get hit by actual aircrafts and get back up, showing his physical stats, durability-wise too. Like, obviously, I'm not trying to say he's physically on par with Superman, because, you know, Superman is Superman, but hey, he's taking hits from Superman himself. You know, Superman probably holding back because he has morals, but multiple hits from Superman nonetheless, he kind of gets back up from. I'm going to get back to comparing Orm, aka Ocean Master, to Aquaman in a minute. I just want to let you know of his magical ability, him doing magical type spells, aka the versatile different abilities he can do. Like, look at these ropes he's expelling from his hands. He seems to be able to make illusions. I would like to think it appears it looks like he can teleport, can kind of change the battlefield to fit his needs, you could say, all because of his sorcery magic. Yeah, so he's an Atlantean that knows magic. He appears to have some type of energy projection. A lot of the battles you're going to see is him, of course, using magical sorcery, but alongside that, it's going to be him using his gear with the trident. I mean, it's stated by Ocean Master himself when it comes to his blast power, he can fire off unfocused blast of raw power. That's why you will see occasions when he's just producing energy, you will see him blast a mountain or the top of a mountain apart. The longer this video goes, the more you should realize that this shouldn't be that big of a shock, him being able to blow up a mountain. With his trident, why do you think he can blast aircrafts out of the sky? And you remember how earlier I said I was going to bring up him fighting Aquaman a lot in this video? Well, I'm back to it. Well, let me just tell you that he's literally knocked out Aquaman here, for example, with his blast. I mean, he is an Aquaman themed type character. So I would say it makes perfect sense that him and Aquaman has kind of fought a lot, multiple times, using his trident, battling him, getting hit by Aquaman here. Some fights don't even end up having a true winner. Sometimes their fights just get separated, like in this occasion. It is shown that he can actually punch and damage Aquaman here with his fist without just relying on the trident. Then he can mix that in with his energy blast with his trident. But it shows he's also not a glass cannon. He can take what he can dish out. Even in old comics, you see him boxing with Aquaman. There's clear narrative surrounding that no matter how you look at it, when it comes to power level, he has to be somewhere in that Aquaman range. Why would the writers have them fight this much if they're nowhere near each other? He's like his arch foe. In this occasion, they both fight in water. Ocean Master does the unthinkable and actually knocks out Aquaman underwater. He does wake up pretty quickly though. You got scenarios like this, where Ocean Master not only fights Aquaman, but somebody else, fighting them both at the same time. Straight up getting stuck in the face by Aquaman here. Hit again here, and he counters Aquaman with a blast. Like, you see one guy burn it, like he has both of them on the ropes. So they actually had to come up with a way to win via hacks. Yeah, because Orm had, you know, back in these days, he had a weird weakness of not being able to breathe underwater. Yeah. Stated here, couldn't breathe underwater unaided. Yeah, this back in the day weakness. Now here's the deal. When it comes to muscle, I'm not saying Aquaman can arm wrestle Superman or nothing, but when it comes to muscle or just raw power, that's kind of irrelevant because it's kind of proven that Ocean Master's blast power, Aquaman's blast power attacks can damage some of the heavier hitters or compete with them. I don't think you realize how impressive it is to be able to knock out Aquaman, considering how durable he is. You can't shoot him with bullet. Aquaman's been hit by missiles in the chest. Beings that can punch Superman this hard. Yes, this hard, this guy known as Titus. I'm not saying Aquaman can beat this guy, but I just want to give you an understanding that Aquaman fought this being for a full whole minute. Somebody that did that to Superman. So take that as you will. He's been hit by Martian the Manhunter. He got hit by Martian the Manhunter when he was disguised as Superman here. Might I add, he retaliated with his own punch. Punched by Wonder Woman. Again. Gets hit by Lobo. Aquaman is constantly being hit by beings on the very Justice League that are strong enough to move entire planets, beings that can punch planets apart, split moons, that kind of thing. Standard powerhouse of DC stuff. This is light work stuff. This is the kind of stuff Aquaman has to get hit by, and Ocean Master being able to knock him out is kind of impressive. This kind of proves that he's up there with the planet-shattering type beings, you could say. Because, yeah, you can't take the occasions with Superman too serious because he's a magical being, of course, but other beings that have resistance to magic, like Wonder Woman and stuff, Aquaman is taking hits from those kind of beings. Even then, Ocean Master is still able to rival Aquaman, damage him this much. So even if his muscle isn't on that level, him with his trident should be. In that planet-shattering ranges of raw power, based on the beings he's competing with, he would have to be in that neighborhood to be able to compete with Aquaman this much via his energy blast or just magical blast or whatever. Even if you don't want to believe his muscles on that level, he can hit that hard in other means without relying on his muscle, based on occasions like this. I mean, heck, if you want to take it a bit farther, you could say this is still disrespectful considering Aquaman survived something, like there was this big blast, right? Like in this occasion, it knocked out Orion, a new god, somebody that's a dark side level being. And in these very panels, where's Aquaman? Where's Aquaman? Aquaman survived something that made a dark side to being like Orion sleepy. Aquaman himself was sleepy too, but it's the fact that he survived something that knocked out Orion is kind of crazy to me. Stuff like this would imply Aquaman tier beings are way above just planet-shattering type levels of power, which in turn just kind of makes Ocean Master look more impressive. I don't think you guys realize that Orion's durability is absurd. He's took attacks from the Void Hound, guys. Something that can blow away solar systems, like stuff way more potent than supernova sun explosion type stuff. This is the type of stuff Orion's able to withstand. This is why Aquaman withstanding blasts, well, surviving blasts that made Orion sleepy is impressive. And guess who knocked out Aquaman? You know, this kind of goes off of Aquaman. Like, this kind of makes Ocean Master look more impressive. Ocean Master is basically KOing beings that can survive attacks that are worse than solar system shattering type of attack. Like Aquaman surviving stuff that Orion had trouble staying conscious from, and Orion is knocking these beings out with his blast and stuff. Like Aquaman, knocking Aquaman out, somebody that can withstand Orion level stuff. Oh, I'm not exaggerating when it comes to Orion, guys. That's why Aquaman surviving that crap is impressive. He's literally considered Darkseid's equal. Like, you look at the old handbooks, it's talked about how Orion is equal to Darkseid. I mean, his battles with Darkseid kind of add up with it. So, I mean, just think about it. Orion withstood hits from Omega beams and stayed conscious. So, when I tell you Aquaman survived something that knocked out Orion, when I say this, that's why that's impressive. Aquaman was drowsy too, but he survived something that knocked out Orion, guys. And Ocean Master is able to knock out this same Aquaman underwater, guys. Orion be able to withstand Omega beams. Darkseid is a person that blasts with Omega beams. He was 1/5 the power needed to produce energies enough to blow away the universe. Orion's in the same situation as well. They're able to produce such ridiculous kind of energies to destroy a dimension. So now you see why Orion withstanding an Omega beams is crazy. From Darkseid, being a Darkseid level being, Aquaman surviving attacks that knocked out Orion is crazy. Orion has withstood Omega beams, things that can produce 1/5 the power to blow away universes. You know, Ocean Master can knock out the same Aquaman. You see what I'm saying? Like, he has to be somewhere in there heavy, in those heavy hitter ranges. I mean, at this point, we're talking about power that goes way beyond just star system shattering kind of power. But if you're still in disbelief that his energy blast or blast power attacks whatever are this potent, well, let's look at the occasion where Black Manta and Ocean Master work together. Powerhouses that I already showed in this video that can move planets and stuff like that. Oh my goodness, Wonder Woman and Superman. Superman literally is confused, saying Ocean Master's keeping us back with water? Like, it lets you know how much raw power he's producing, that Superman's like, kind of confused. It's because of his sorcery fortified on his native soil. Powerhouses of DC having this kind of issue. I'll just let the panel speak for themselves. They look like they're having issues, Wonder Woman and Supes. But take it as you will, Ocean Master cannot, I repeat, cannot be disrespected. When it comes to Aquaman's fighting speed, Ocean Master can compete with him in speed. There's never really an outrageous speed gap in combat speed, and there's implications that Aquaman can react to lasers, which are light speed. And this seems like something Aquaman always does. I mean, he's always competing with beings like Black Manta. So this honestly shouldn't be breaking news for somebody in this tier to be able to react to things faster than light based on how the powerhouses in DC work. This shouldn't really be a surprise. But all of that, what I mentioned, was during the older days. During newer stuff, Ocean Master got some new stuff. that I want to talk about because retcons, I like to separate them into videos. I'm going to try to go over the New 52 rebirth type stuff now. For Ocean Master, I mean, DC even kind of breaks down its own history in different ages, so you can tell by the art style it's newer. Let's get into it, Ocean Master. He has a lot of similar things that I've already talked about in this video, just like previously in this video, he uses this trident, he can project lightning through it here. That's why he's doing Batman like this. In this continuity, it seems like he specializes in hydrokinesis, like along with his trident, he can summon a whole bunch of water, manipulate it. I want to get back to his hydrokinesis in a minute, but I just want to briefly talk about his muscle, like I already talked about earlier. I'm talking about it in the New 52 continuity. Talking about it in the more recent continuity when it comes to his muscle. Just like in the past, this new continuity isn't an exception. His muscles can clash with Aquaman of this continuity. Just like how Aquaman can lift the cruise ships in this continuity, I don't see no reason why Ocean Master couldn't do the same when it comes to lifting hundreds of thousands of tons, you know. Being able to lift buildings, large pieces of land masses Aquaman can lift with his muscle. If you were to say Ocean Master can lift up cruise ships, I wouldn't doubt it. You know, just like how Aquaman can with his muscle, and we've seen Ocean Master and Aquaman's muscles clash. It makes sense. Amplifying or lifting stuff up with his energy projection, you can argue he can lift more, like all this debris, for example. He can lift up. Like, we've seen him hit beings and they go flying. So it kind of makes sense for this kind of muscle to go with his punching power or whatever, strikes. How hard he can hit with his staff strikes and stuff, all of it should go hand in hand. I mean, if you really want to understand how hard he can hit, you also have to analyze Aquaman. I mean, his battles with Aquaman are legendary, even in this continuity. Trading blows, blasting him with his energy blast from his trident, withstanding hits from Aquaman, blah, blah, blah. His durability and everything matches up with how hard he can hit. In this particular situation, he actually got the advantage over Aquaman in the actual fight. In this occasion, we see both of them get hit by each other. Ocean Master kind of cheat here, but it does show he's willing to do anything to win, I guess. But it shows his trident can definitely stab and pierce Aquaman. Let's just say Ocean Master can hit way harder than your standard nuclear bombs. Because let's be honest, he can hit with similar weight like Aquaman can hit with. Like Aquaman hitting him back here, he can withstand it. Hitting each other back. His blast hurt him, damage Aquaman. It's just a constant theme. So the fact that his strikes can clash with Aquaman here, not only his muscle, but the weight of his clashes, strikes, this kind of proves more to him. Because Aquaman has battled beings, stopped attacks from beings that can destroy Atlantis by literally sinking it with their strikes, stating he's going to do it again. And Aquaman can stop these kind of attacks. Just to give you a visual of a kind of similar attack that Aquaman had to block. Like, look at this. All this raw power produced, capable of sinking cities, entire mountains, continents, islands, blah, 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 blah. Aquaman is able to stop these kind of attacks, clash with that kind of power, and guess what? Ocean Master can match him. I mean, I guess it kind of adds up because, you know, when it comes to hydrokinesis, Ocean Master can do ridiculous stuff like making ridiculous tsunamis. Like, he can legit just straight up flood cities. Like, just to kind of, he can control this much water. So I guess it kind of makes sense for him to be able to mess with or clash with beings that can level cities or even more and such. But let's just say Orm could take a punch. I mean, look who he's getting hit by, kicked by, Aquaman, Mira, to the point where it breaks his mask and he still can bounce back, hit with trident hits, and gets back up. Let these occasions speak for himself. I think we can all assume he's probably bulletproof like Aquaman. We've seen a van get slammed on him. Glass can't cut him. So the same impact he can produce with his punches or his trident blast, I would say his durability kind of matches up. But if you somehow still have your doubts about his power, well, narratively, he's supposed to be dangerous. Orm is considered one of the most dangerous men on the planet. The Justice League rates him as an alpha class threat. And I kind of believe it. I mean, look, you're probably thinking, oh, he's using water kinesis. It might have some magic in it. That's why he's able to trap these powerhouses. Well, Wonder Woman is kind of resistant to magic. I mean, yeah, Superman, he might have a vulnerability to magic or whatever. So you could say the only reason he's able to hold Superman like this is because of magic. But what is Wonder Woman's excuse? She's a powerhouse tier 2, and his water kinesis, hydrokinesis can still hold these top tier high-end beings to kind of prove more narratively on why he's so strong. Just a friendly reminder that the weight of Wonder Woman's kicks can make Superman himself bleed without even using any kind of hacks, kryptonite, magic, or nothing. She can just hit that hard. Beings like Wonder Woman are also those crazy strong beings that can move planets, blah, 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 blah. You know, that's standard DC stuff. Look, I know this is just cover art, but I find this very fitting, and I believe this is accurate. She could probably do this too. In this new continuity, Wonder Woman is always the person side by side helping Superman lift stuff. And Superman can bench press the weight of the earth for 5 days. Yeah, you get the idea. So now you see why him restraining beings like Wonder Woman and Superman is kind of crazy. They can do the powerhouse stuff like moving planets and even stars and such, and he's got to be within that range, somewhere in that range. So saying he has the raw power to destroy planets is definitely believable when you realize how strong Superman and Wonder Woman are, and he's restraining them with hydrokinesis. I mean, heck, his hydrokinesis might actually be able to move planets themselves. He's restraining beings that can do that, so why wouldn't he be able to move actual planets if he's restraining beings that can actually move planets? Yeah, just imagine some big burst of water moving planets aside. Wouldn't that be fun to see animated or something? Yeah, not too many showings. I think he has less than 300 comic appearances, so it's not too many things to show off. But just like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to his combat speed, he's competing with Aquaman in the new continuity too. I mean, throughout this video, we've seen plenty of evidence of him boxing with Aquaman. Aquaman's fast enough to react blitz characters like Wonder Woman in raw fighting speed, fast and light characters. Aquaman can consistently react to Black Manta's laser blast. You see, even in new continuity, it's the same stuff like post-crisis. So it would be strange if Ocean Master in this new continuity couldn't react to light speed or faster attacks. I mean, Ocean Master at one point even had an ocean elemental being do his bidding, like messing up this oil rig, for example. So the name Ocean Master is really fitting. But I want to hear your thoughts. Did you guys know that Ocean Master was this strong? Is there anything you learned new about him? I mean, he's the half-brother of Aquaman that actually battled Mira, a very strong hydrokinetic type being. In this particular situation, it looks like he got the advantage until Mira did something super hacksy, like stopping his water from moving through his lungs and crap. Basically stopping his breathing. But in the battle of physicals, like he had the advantage. But yeah, this is hacksy. Mira's pretty strong. What are you supposed to do if you can't breathe, right? Your muscle can legit be stronger than somebody, but if you can't breathe, what you gonna do? You know what I mean? Hacksy win for Mira. But he had her on the edge before that. You know, he boxed it with Mira more than once. You can see how it goes here. I would like to mention she technically wasn't at her best here, though. But he can more than likely fight her at her best. I mean, he's always fighting Aquaman, so it makes sense. You can still see how the slugfest goes. She's strong. He's strong enough to retaliate. He's able to generate all of this. You still got to respect him. I want to hear your thoughts. How strong do you think Ocean Master is? How fast do you think he is? Do you think everything I said is BS? Let me hear your thoughts. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thanks for the donations, everybody. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.